All right, we can do that. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Vegas All That Radio. 3 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. It's time for Stars on VANR. Without any further ado, let's bring the host of the shows on, Mr. Aaron Phillips, Mr. John J. Peg Styles, and our special guest today. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, Bobcat. Good afternoon, everybody out there in Internet Radio land. You are indeed tuned in to Stars of VANR, the show on our network that highlights our show hosts, our staff. It gives you a little bit of an inside look into behind the scenes of each of our shows. And today, in the Stars of VANR hot seat, we were just commiserating before the show about recent hospital stays, is our host of a Wednesday morning show.
Do you know what commiserating means?
We shared ideas.
Okay.
Now I lost my train of thought. There goes the train station.
Don't do that.
Chef Sharynne Fraser,
We used to call it duck walking.
Healthy Living Las Vegas, hosted the show every Wednesday, once a month, the first Wednesday of the month from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., and hopefully soon we'll have her on the network every week because she's got so much information. There's no way she can possibly get it in on the first Wednesday of every month because we just shared a lot of stories in the span of 5 minutes. So I know there's a lot of stuff going on out there. How are you, Sheffy?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
That's my pet name for you. Are you okay with that?
I love it.
All right, Sheffy.
I love it.
Sheffy Sharynne is with us. JPEG is here with us as always. Mr. Cash is home recuperating. Had another procedure on his knee today, which according to his wife went better than expected.
Yep.
So that's a good sign. They had to put him under. He had knee replacement surgery.
Correct.
I don't know if you've been following it.
Yes.
So the doctors told him about 10 days ago, we need to get you back in and increase your flexibility by knocking you out and rebending the knee.
Right.
So he was going at like 90 degrees, and now this bending was supposed to hopefully get him to 130 degrees, snap, crackle, and pop with the scar tissue and everything. He was nervous about it, but again, it sounds like everything went well. The procedure was at 7 this morning, and according to his wife, he was already back home at 9. So the doc said it was better than expected, which is great, and hopefully he's resting comfortably. I'm sure he's out cold right now if I know my partner. So.
Yeah, soon needs to get those joints moving, though.
Yes, well, he's been walking, going through physical therapy, and I'm just hoping, and I'm going to back off on him. He's got to get the other knee done, and this experience for him was not as good as he had hoped it to be. But then again, as JPEG can attest to this, he wanted to run a marathon the day after surgery, Mr. Cash did. So anything short of that was a disappointment for him. But anyway, so Healthy Living Las Vegas is a show that really shares all the healthy lifestyles of everything from eating the proper nutrition, right? Is that a fair assessment?
Yes.
And how to really take care of your body and make a quality of life change to live healthy for you and your family. And again, as I said, you can catch the show every first Wednesday of the month from 10 to 11 a.m. Now, you're coming in to do a pre-record next week. Is that for next week's show that you're pre-recording early for?
Correct.
Who's on your show that you're pre-recording for?
I'm doing a show with, I have to think.
Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you off guard with a trick question.
Well, only because I'm working into February already, and I'm.
Are you really?
Well, it's my guest list.
With your guest list.
Yeah, it'll come back to me. You know, when you're over the age of 60, sometimes but it'll come back. Don't worry, I'll get that.
That's why I write this stuff down.
That's right, exactly. So let's talk a little bit. Let's kind of go back to the beginning a little bit. Tell our audience your background, where you're from, how you really changed. You were a nurse, as we know, and now you're a chef, sharing all your knowledge. But talk about the transition. How'd you get started? And let's let our audience know.
Because she hated hospital food.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure. After the story I just heard, I'm surprised everybody wasn't wearing the hospital food.
Yeah, I didn't. I was in there for 48 hours. I didn't eat any of that stuff.
So what'd you eat?
I didn't.
You didn't eat at all?
No. So I had my husband bring me smoothies.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Yeah, I couldn't eat that stuff. Bad news. But anyway,
yes.
Let's see.
What part of the country are you from?
Ohio. Buckeyes.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry
Ohio
about
State.
your Buccos.
I know.
Zanesville.
Yeah. Yay. Okay.
Everybody on my mother's side of the family.
Yay.
Yep. I think they're all in prison now, but.
Oh, well, we have good prisons in the southern part of the state.
Bobcat's an Ohio State fan, too, from Ohio.
Are you?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Athens, Ohio, about 70 miles south of Columbus.
Of course. I went to school in Akron,
Yeah.
University of Akron, and also at the Catholic Hospital. I trained there.
You know who I went to school with?
No.
You catch him every morning on NBC. Matt Lauer. I went to school with Matt Lauer.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was a radio television specialist, journalist there.
Wow.
He stuck more to the journalism side than he did the radio side, though.
Very, very, very important people come from Ohio.
I can tell you one thing. He couldn't edit tape worth of crap.
That's why he went to talking. Exactly, okay? That's why he went to talking. So anyway, let's see. Let's start real quick. In the 60s, Yes, I'm that old. Got out of high school and went to school straight away. Graduated and went right away to school. And studied to be a laboratory assistant. And I did that for about 18 months. And I said, okay, what else? Next. And then I became what's called a medical technologist, which took me through all of the entire lab. Bacteriology, chemistry, parasitology, hematology, histology, urinalysis, bone marrows, autopsies. It took me through the whole gamut. Then I fell in love. I like this because I'm a scientist.
Right.
I'm curious. I have to know. So we did that for a while. Got bored with that too. I'm wondering if my little ADD here. I'm not sure. And then I decided.
I can add too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And then I decided, I wonder what it'd like to try the operating room.
Ooh.
Okay, a little brain surgery, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, we did a stint. We did the operating room, and I was in the operating room for about 6 or 7 years. At that time, I was in L.A., and I was working at the old Mount Sinai Hospital, which then later became Cedars.
Oh, okay.
So that's how far back it goes. Yes, I'm that old. I'll be 69 in 2016.
Well,
so
happy
then,
early birthday.
Thank you. So from there, it's always been a curiosity for me because once I learned about the testing and things like that, then I said, wow, what else can I do to put this together? Because I started seeing more and more, even with my own family, nobody knew. And my parents, probably like yours and many people that are listening, were taught not to question.
Right.
If the doctor says this is what you do, this is what you do.
Just do it.
Just do it. So I would just like to say one thing to the listening audience and those that are also watching. My mom, my dad, my brother, and my uncle, they all followed doctor's orders, and they're all dead.
That's pretty drastic.
Okay. So yours truly, who doesn't follow the doctors and listen to the crap that they talk about, that's why it's so important if people would educate themselves, because once you have the knowledge, you can back into what it is. And 9 times out of 10, it's our lifestyle. But we don't want to admit it. All right? So if you go back, like you and I were sharing, I kind of played a Sherlock Holmes with myself, and I'm telling the emergency room doctor, no, that's not what it is. This is what it is. And he's looking at me, and I said, and here's why.
Right.
So I gave him the whole scenario, and he's like, well, yeah, that could be. What do you mean could be? It is.
It is.
Okay? So anyway.
See, but you're also armed with the background of medicine that most people are not when they're in a situation like going to the hospital or knowing how to read their body.
Yeah.
So you have a big advantage there.
Well, but again, go back to once you start educating yourself, you will learn to read your body. You will know. Like I mentioned to you, I was admitted to the hospital with a blood pressure of 189 over 90. That's 189 over 100. That's stroke city, kids. I don't have high blood pressure.
Right.
I monitor because my family has high blood pressure.
Something was amiss.
Something was amiss. And we figured out what it was. So anyway, long story short, that was kind of my stint. And then I decided, I want to teach.
Okay.
I know I've got to be OCD or ADD. I have to be. For anybody, if I told you all the things I've done in my life.
If you back into it, you could probably figure out the
process of elimination. So anyway, decided that I wanted to teach. And I wanted to teach about how the body worked, but in a way that people could understand. Not a lot of technical words and things like that, just basic. And I'm a very visual person, so for me to be able to, I believe it's a gift, be able to break things down and explain it to people, like you and I were talking, that doctors, nurses, PAs, whatever, they're not going to do or don't have time to do. Once you start to understand how your body functions and what it needs to function, and when things start malfunctioning, then you can go back and figure it out. In my case, my hospitalization, as I mentioned, had to do with, as soon as he told me my potassium, which is one of the electrolytes in my blood, was low, the first thing I said is, voila, it's minerals that's causing the problem. Because the minerals are necessary. They cause the contractions and the firing that allow the muscles to contract. So if my heart's beating at 160, that bad boy's just going like crazy, crazy.
Right.
Because why? Low potassium. And it makes all the other minerals, of which there are 60, it lowers all of them too. But do we know if it's only potassium that I was missing?
Right.
It could have been one of the other or 5 of the other 60, okay?
Right.
So when I went home, I did just that. I supplemented myself with 60 plant-based minerals. My blood pressure when I got home was 159, 158 over 90, which is still Stroke City. And after 3 days of plant-based minerals, I was at 110 over 82. And I'm happy to say today I'm 117 over 64.
There you go. Knowledge.
Listen to your body. You guys know. I mean, I don't need to preach to you, and you guys know I'm good at that. You don't need
Is
to
that
run.
the one thing that you haven't tried yet?
I haven't. Preaching. There we go. Don't give me any ideas.
Preach on the radio.
That could open up a whole new
Oh,
avenue for you.
Oh, yeah, another show, Aaron.
There you
Here
go.
we
I love it.
Bless the food. And, yeah. So anyway, that's kind of how I work my way into it. I wanted to teach. So in order to teach, I needed a place to teach. Well, I can't go renting every time I want to teach because I had classes, 3 and 4 times a day. So I said, I think I'll be a restaurateur. Really? Okay, so I did that for a while too. And the reason I became a chef and had a restaurant here in town is because I needed a place to teach.
Right.
So we would have the restaurant be open during the day. In the evening, we would teach classes. On the weekends, we would have classes all the time. So we did that for about 3.5, almost 4 years. And came time for the lease to be renewed. And as you met my husband's 79, going to be 80, in good health.
God bless him.
In great health.
Well, married to you, he'd have to be. He better be.
I would not have believed that
No,
he
I
was
wouldn't
that
either.
old.
Thank you, thank you.
And, absolutely, I would not either.
Yeah, well, we take care of ourselves.
Absolutely, and that's evident, yeah.
Yeah, but, to those that are listening and watching, we didn't always used to be healthy.
Right.
I used to be overweight, 203 pounds to be exact, size 16. Okay. My husband had sciatic nerve problems where he was going to have surgery. They do what's called a sling, where they actually lift up the nerve and put a little diaper, so to speak, to keep the nerve from touching up against the bone.
Wow.
And then we learned about raw food. We learned about acid alkalinity balance and how it affects your body. And we changed our diet, and we went from being not very healthy to being super duper healthy. And we just have remained on that path and continue to do so. Now, I'm not a saint. I mean, I cheat. I'm human, okay?
Sure.
I'm not going to sit up here and, oh, yeah, I don't do this. No. Okay, you might find my car in Carl's Jr.
It's okay.
Okay? But it's only a couple times a year.
Right.
It's not every week.
Right.
Or whatever the case may be. So teaching became my passion because then I could take all of this and then be able to help people with it.
Right.
Okay? My mom was a nurse, so I guess that Florence Nightingale thing was in me too, to want to help people. And after her death first, that really catapulted me because it showed me that this is what I'm supposed to do.
It was your shock. It was your wake-up call.
Exactly. I've gone through my entire life and I've done tens of thousands of things.
Right.
All have been successful, but nothing that gave me any kind of gratification at all. And then my mom passed away, and she gave me the catalyst that I needed to now take a God-given talent that I believe it is, and now start to share it with the world.
Right.
And we are now coming up on 13 years
Wow.
of sharing with the world.
That's great. And you have multiple platforms that you do it on. Are you still doing down in Phoenix as well? You have the show down there?
Yes.
Okay.
The
So
Raw Truth.
The Raw Truth, which is based out of a Phoenix station down there, and of course here with Healthy Living. And, it's funny you use the preacher word, and you and I have had some rather in-depth conversations about my health. And what I like about sitting down with Sheffy here is that she doesn't preach. She just shares her information genuinely and passionately for the betterment of the person she's talking to, not for herself, for the person that she's talking to help them be better. And that's why I enjoy our conversations, because too many people, I think with the knowledge like what you have, do come across preaching.
Sure.
And I think the individual listening to that information can become too resistant to it.
And a lot of times, too, it's all about me.
Right.
I've never been all about me.
Right.
And people who have known me over the years know that. I'm all about you.
Right.
Because I have the knowledge. See?
That's
so
right.
I don't need it to be about me.
Right.
My husband has the knowledge, and we are, echoing that it works. That you can go from being not so healthy and having all kinds of challenges and issues to the other side.
Right.
Okay? It's a little bit of education, and it's not that difficult, because if people would only spend as much time on their health as they do about the latest iPhone or the latest Galaxy 5 or when they go buy their car.
Right.
Okay, we spend more time on those things than we do about learning about how do we take care of this body.
I'm going to leave it right there because I think we come back, a nice segue to that's going to be how does one start learning about themselves? I think that's a good place to go from here. You're listening to Stars of VANR. Chef Sharynne Fraser, host of Healthy Living Las Vegas, every first Wednesday here from 10 to 11 a.m. And hopefully that'll be a weekly show soon so that we can get more of her information and do what's right.
He wants to pick my brain.
That's right. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more with Sheffy right after that. All right, welcome back to Stars of VANR. Aaron Phillips, John J. Peck Styles, Bobcat on the board, and you, the listener. Our phone number is 702-483-4444. If you want to call in, ask Sheffy Sharynne a question. I'm sure she'll be happy to guide you and impart her wonderful world of wisdom. You made a comment during the break, which I just still laugh at, and I tell people the story all the time. You can diagnose what somebody's problem is just by answering a few questions. And you put me through that drill a couple of months ago, unknowingly, on my part, and you diagnosed and said everything that was happening in my body that I was experiencing to the T. Nothing more than in a 5-minute conversation. So, I mean... Guys, gals, whoever's listening out there, Chef Sharynne knows her stuff, let me tell you, because you hit everything on the head that day we chatted in my office. All right.
That brings up my question.
Okay.
So what kind of magic elixir are you selling in conjunction with what you're doing in your radio show? I mean, there's all that stuff out there with the patches and drink this shake and put this stuff in water and drink that. So what's yours? What are you selling?
Well, nothing. I'm just selling health and wellness, and really what I'm selling is education.
Yes.
Because I can teach you how to make all those healthful drinks.
Right.
Let's talk about supplements for a minute.
Yes, please.
Is that okay?
Yes, I'd like to.
I have a thing about supplementation. Unless it's something that I personally am vetting and have used and I've seen results, mum is the word. Most people, most of the time, even when I'm reading articles that come through and I'm like, wow, that sounds like a really great topic, let me click over. And then I have to listen to their tape recording of their story. And then, well, you'll find out about it, at the end. Well, you know what that means at the end. They're going to sell you something. Yep. So to me, it kind of degrades the content of whatever the value is of what they might have that could help somebody, because it's a turnoff when you start selling me something. I don't want to hear it. I don't sell anything except education, and I don't charge for that.
I say you offer education. You don't sell the education.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Thank you. Correction.
It's all right. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And and I've listened to your show, and that's what I like about it, is you're not selling anything. There's nothing there except here's the information. Now if you're smart, you'll take advantage of it. If you're stupid, you won't.
Exactly. And
in
people,
a nice way.
Yeah. And people know me by now because of how long I've been out there, that if they have questions, I am reachable. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, call me now. Okay? 702-483-4444. Ask me some questions. I'll tell you no lies. Okay?
And that's guaranteed.
Yeah. I take no prisoners because it's life and death, and people don't understand that.
Do you find that people will ask you questions, or that they're coming to you because they're looking for an easy way out? They want that pill. They want that supplement, and they think that that's where they're going to get it. Because my
me too.
Yeah, my maybe I'm wrong, but I think people are basically lazy.
Yes.
And they just want it handed to them. And if I got to peel that first, they don't want to do that. Or, hey, go get some carrots and some celery and, put it in a blender, make yourself a smoothie, and you've got something that's probably going to save you, $180 a month or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Is that true?
It's true. People don't want to take responsibility. We have turned into a nation of pillheads. Give me a pill. That's all I care about. And like I've said on my show, even when people have a bad diet or they're doing things that aren't too cool, just know that you can't go to the gym and exercise it away. So just save your time, okay? It's not going to happen. I don't care if you're in the gym for 7 hours. The bottom line is, it's not how long you work out. It's the fuel that you're putting in your body, okay? And 9 times out of 10, people have, oh my God, I had tacos. I'm going to go to the gym tonight and do, 45 minutes or an hour worth of cardio. It doesn't matter. That little bit of what you have eaten is not going to make 1 ounce of difference whether you went to the gym or not. But the cumulative effect is, okay? So you got to understand that supplementation has its place. but it cannot take the place of a poor diet. So the easiest thing is to look at the smoothie, because you can put everything into the smoothie that you don't like, and you don't have to taste it. Greens and veggies and all these things. The biggest challenge that I see with turning this whole health situation around is the education, because people who want to eat healthy or they want to make an effort, we have not given them the tools to do it. If I'm going to sit there and look at carrots and celery sticks and some lettuce, I'm not interested. Okay, I don't care if it's healthy for me or not. That's why learning other cuisines can be fun, but also educational, because then you start to understand combinations of vegetables and things that you can put together. When I make food, trust me, there is no recipe, okay? Because it becomes, you develop the taste, the flavors. But if you don't experiment and you don't start trying different things, you're never going to go any further than where you are. Most people don't have that information. They don't have that knowledge. But you know what? That is no freaking excuse nowadays, because we have YouTube, we have Google, we have Bing. There's no excuse in the world for people not being able to make lifestyle changes other than the fact that they refuse to do it, because the information is there. When I started off with raw food almost 13 years ago, there was no one in Las Vegas, hello, including Whole Foods, that knew anything about raw food. They told me they thought I was a sushi chef. When I went into Whole Foods and said I'd like to teach classes, she's like, "Oh, no, honey, we already have a sushi chef." I said, "It's not sushi." "Well, what is it?" "It's fresh fruits and vegetables." "Oh. Made into recipes." "Oh. Like cheesecake and spaghetti?" Oh, now all of a sudden, right. Again, but if I just said to you that it was just fruits and vegetables and salads, yeah, okay, I can do that on my own. So the education of learning how you can take these raw fruits and veggies and turn them into something delicious doesn't have to be all raw. Just incorporating more, making substitutions in different recipes, throwing in some zucchini and things that have absolutely no flavor, and they will absorb what you put them in.
I'm somewhat of a cook myself, always have been, and I'm a big fan of one-dish meals.
Yes.
Stews, soups, casseroles, things like that, because I can throw in stuff that I really don't like.
Yes.
But I know if I put it in a stew, I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna eat it because all the other stuff is there that I like.
Right.
And the same with a casserole. Do rice and vegetables and stuff like that. So.
Absolutely, and you can bury stuff.
And other stuff that makes it good.
Yeah, I think I made something for you one time. Are you the celery person?
I like celery. But
Oh, no, then it wasn't you. It was someone else. Somebody
No.
that I can't remember who it was. We made something. It's like, "Does it have any celery in it?" And I said, "No." But it did. This
But
is
celery is really good for you, is it not?
Of course.
I mean,
it's high in sodium, it's high in
especially
fiber,
the
high in
desert
water.
here. Yeah,
high in
especially
water
here in the
content.
And it
desert.
takes slower to break down, so it keeps you fuller longer.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then the little fibers help you.
Yes, cleans your system. Cleans your system. So let me ask you a question. Let's go
Yes.
back to basics here.
Okay.
Where does somebody start? Someone comes to you, 100 pounds overweight, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, the whole shebang, and they say that they want to change their lifestyle. Where does someone like that begin?
Call me.
Well, besides
First
that,
thing
all
we
right, so
do-
they've made the call.
Yeah, okay. Well, first thing we're going to do, I will do what's called a nutritional questionnaire.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor. Okay. I do not diagnose. I don't prescribe. However, I do know food and I do know the body. So I can put the two together, and little questions that are on there are going to mean something to me that mean absolutely nothing to you,
Right.
nor do they mean anything to the doctor. All right? The fact that maybe you're getting up in the middle of the night and going pee-pee. The doctor didn't ask you that, but to me it's important because it might be the signs, early signs of possibly some type of blood sugar issue. Not necessarily diabetes.
Right.
Could be low blood sugar.
Right.
Okay? Because it's not normal to get up and pee in the middle of the night unless you are a male over the age of 50 and you probably have some prostate issue. That'll get you up at night because it's pushing up against the bladder. But for everybody else, you shouldn't be getting up and peeing. So if you are, you need to call me because you could be looking at either a low blood sugar, which is normally a precursor to type 2 diabetes, which comes later on.
Okay.
So we do a nutritional counsel first, and I'll find out because it will tell me exactly where the issues are, because we divide the body into 4 categories: hard tissue, soft tissue, blood sugar issues, and digestion. Everything starts in the mouth. As I had my guest on last month, Robert Tuktalian. Him and I both suffer from periodontal disease. And everything starts in your mouth, folks. They can say, oh, digestion starts in your stomach. No. Everything starts in your mouth. From the minute you put food in your mouth, the mixing of the saliva and enzymes and chewing and the churning and all of that, okay? So we've done the counseling. Now we isolate what the problems are. And when we isolate the problems, there are about 925 diseases that are caused by mineral vitamin deficiencies. All right? I had someone call me the other day who had, oh goodness, what was it? Something they wanted to do surgery for. Anyway, I said, well, that's a B12 deficiency. Go get some B12 and try it and see how that works. You can always go back and have surgery.
Right.
Okay, you can always go back there. But 9 times out of 10, when your body is showing signs and symptoms, it means that you've run out of the raw materials that it needs to function. Okay, so we've done the consultation now. We're now going to talk about what do we need to fix, depending on what areas are off
Kilter.
Off
Right.
kilter, exactly, will tell us. It could be 1, 2, it could be all 4.
Right.
It all could be a problem starting from digestion first. And in most cases, I would say 8 out of 10 times, it's in the digestion. Okay? Because many people, and I didn't know this until I started studying, for example, when you eat like a sandwich, the bread has gluten, and then we wash it down with a carbonated beverage of soda of some sort. What happens is that sodium bicarbonate starts to have a counter reaction, and it starts pulling minerals and nutrition out. So what you are absorbing is basically nothing. And it sets up this process. And if you think about what we eat on a daily basis, it's always some sort of bread, it's always some sort of soda or some sort of
Chocolate.
carbonated beverage. So that affects your digestion. So we look at that. If it's a digestive issue, we correct it. Many times the digestive issues fall into the line of people being gluten intolerant. All right? Not to the point where it's a full-blown allergy, but what's happening is internally you've got an allergy going on because inflammation is happening. When inflammation happens in the digestive tract, it affects the lining of the intestinal tract, which is where you absorb those minerals. Now, we just found out that the carbonated beverages eliminate the minerals, so what are you absorbing? Nothing. So what happens is a malnutrition thing starts beginning to set up. In the case of type 2 diabetes, it's 2 particular minerals, chromium and vanadium. They unlock the key, unlock the door that gets the sugar out of the bloodstream and into the cell. Here's your cell, and here's the blood, here's the sugar. It wants to get in, but it can't get in because chromium and vanadium are missing from the bloodline.
All
It's
right,
not there.
So hold that thought, because I want to ask then, where does one get those 2 minerals in what foods? I think that's also
Okay.
a big piece of all of this is we could be missing all these minerals, but we don't know where to get them in their natural foods.
Perfect.
So we'll pick it up from there on the other side of the break. You're listening to Stars of VANR. Chef Sharynne Frazier, host of Healthy Living Las Vegas, the first Wednesday of every month from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on Vegas on That Radio. We'll be back with more right after that. All right, welcome back. Bottom of the hour. Time flies when you're having fun. So let's pick up where we left off. You mentioned that there were 2 minerals missing in the sake of what builds up to diabetes, type 2 diabetes. I think when we hear the fact that we're missing minerals, we're missing this, our body's not getting that, yada, yada, yada.
Take a pill.
Right, that's the tradition.
That's our first reaction.
Right.
Oh, well, I'll just go down to the store and get me some of this and get me some of that.
Right, absolutely.
You know, take those and then I'm cool.
Exactly.
So someone like myself, though, who's not nutritionally knowledgeable per se, how do you know how to get that through your food? What foods or what supplements or what would you use to supplement to replace those 2 minerals that you mentioned?
Okay, first of all, are you listening? You cannot get it from your food.
Okay.
So scratch that off the list.
Okay.
I don't care if you're buying organic or not. It's not in the soil. If it's not in the soil, it's not in the seed.
Okay.
If it's not in the seed, it's not in the plant. If it's not in the plant, guess what? It's not in you either.
Okay.
So you must supplement. I personally use a particular product by a company called Longevity. Dr. Joel Wallach, you probably have heard of him, and the reason being is he follows along the lines of teaching people, because he was a veterinarian. And I started watching, kind of a segue, Dr. Pol.
Yes.
Okay.
I've caught a few
How
of
do
his
they
shows.
treat animals?
Right.
Animals can't tell them, do I have Blue Cross or Blue Shield? Animals can't tell them if they're allergic to anything.
Right.
I mean, I've watched him, and you probably have too.
Mm-hmm.
A cow starts doing strange things. He goes, they need calcium. Boom. Calcium IV. Cow's fine. Well, guess what? The same stuff works with humans.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not in the plants, it's not in the food, it's not in the seed.
Then you must supplement.
But it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
And only because we're a machine, or computer, or whatever you want to call us, and supposedly everything that's out there is what we need to survive.
True.
So if there's
However,
if there's something missing from the diet, we got the sunlight for vitamin D or whatever the hell it is, or so if we hadn't invented these supplements, how the hell would we get them?
well,
Is
let's,
my,
no,
you
I
understand
know.
where I'm going
Of course
with
I
that,
do.
right.
First of all, let's go back. If we didn't have supplements, before supplementation, we used to have like rich soils. All right.
Okay,
The
so
biggest
you're
problem-
saying at one time it was in the soil, but we've screwed it up so bad it ain't there anymore.
1936 was the last time we had measurable
There you go.
minerals. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
I'm with you
when
now. I
when
understand.
minerals are deposited throughout the country, they are deposited in what are called veins. They're not the same. Every state does not have all 60 all 60 minerals that you need. For example, California has absolutely no selenium in their soil. None. What do you need selenium for? Well, it's an anti-cancer. Could that be important? It helps with brain function. Could that be important?
Now I know what's wrong.
There you
All
go.
of the selenium has been depleted.
What was your name again? I'm sorry. I forgot. So if you
Our
look at
brains are gone.
Yeah, if you just understand the fact that it's not in the soil, so we have to supplement. I use a product called Longevity. And the reason being, as I started to say, was because of Dr. Wallach. Wallach took animal husbandry and moved it to humans. And guess what? It works. When we had our restaurant, people would come in with, you name it. I've got this problem, that problem, this problem, that problem. And usually when we did their nutritional counseling, we found out what the problems are. We got them on the right supplements to feed the entire body, not just specifically the pancreas because I'm type 2 or my kidneys because I have a kidney issue. Feed the entire body, the brain, the heart, the bones, your tissues, your joints, everything, amino acids. So I use the Longevity line because it covers the entire spectrum. You'll get your 60 minerals that are necessary every single day. As I mentioned, I was low in potassium, but how do I know I wasn't low in strontium or beryllium or arsenic or aluminum? I don't. That's why you have to take the full spectrum in order to get what you need, because many of those are trace minerals. They're very tiny, minuscule amounts, but guess what? They are what's called cofactored. They must be coupled with another mineral, and they are transported into your cell by the means of an amino acid. Amino acids, guess what, boys and girls? That's part of your digestion. So here we go. Digestion is compromised. Where's your minerals? How are your minerals going to get into your system? You can take chromium and vanadium, and it's still going to knock on that door and not get in because there's no amino acid or other mineral to transport it into the cell.
So are multivitamins a good idea, or
No.
is that just another scam?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why multivitamins don't work is because of the form that the vitamins are in. They're in what's called a metallic form or a, what do they call it, like a clay form. So it's not going to be broken down by the body. What you need are plant-based, bioavailable minerals that are small enough to pass through the cellular wall so they can get into the cell. This is why I love Longevity, all right? Because of the research that has been done and the people that I have personally suggested it to that has changed their life, then I know that the transport of those nutrients into the cell is actually happening. Because when people call you in 2 or 3 days, they go, oh my God, I feel so much better. Yeah, your body got some nutrition. That tank has been on empty for a long time. But you keep, oh, I'll have an energy drink. I'll take some B12. I'll have another cup of coffee. I'll have a Diet Pepsi. Let me have a diet, and this is how we keep going. If we continue at that rate, we're going to burn out a particular organ that's called our adrenals. And most of us that are doing, when I say us, not me, but I gather that, most of us are doing the energy drink thing or the coffee or some type of a stimulant because our adrenals have been burned out. Okay? We have maxed them out with stress, lifestyle, environment, our jobs, our kids, whatever. So now we're operating pretty much on empty in our tank. We're operating on fumes. So supplementation is critical because you're not getting it from the food. And if you were getting it from the food, then that would correct the digestive problem, which is where it all started in the first place.
Can you overdo it?
As far as supplementation?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Well, let me back up.
If you like too much vitamins or
yeah, if you're doing a specific type, for example, I'm going to take a lot of vitamin E because it's good for my skin or whatever.
I did the vitamin C years ago when everybody was saying, yeah, that's the greatest thing. And after about a week or two, I had constant diarrhea.
I was going to say either diarrhea or kidney problems.
It was horrible. And I went to the doctor and I said, are you taking this? Are you taking that? And he said, are you taking vitamin C? And yes, and how much? And I told him, he goes, what are you, nuts?
But on the other hand, what they don't tell you is in minerals, the way you find your correct dosage is when diarrhea happens. For example, let's say you did 3 teaspoons of vitamin C.
Right.
And you got diarrhea. That's your max. So you're going to back off of vitamin C, back it down.
Right.
Now you're good to go.
Well, and what he told me was, because I worked outside all the time, and he said, you're getting enough vitamin C.
Yes.
You don't need to take a supplement. You don't need to take additional vitamins. He says, you're getting enough, and that's what your body's telling you.
Right. And you're getting the conversion being outside with the D.
Right.
See,
exactly.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So.
Perfect. Yeah. So anyway.
Now he's working under ballasts and everything else is out of whack.
Yes. I take 723 different supplements and vitamins daily, and look at me, 29 years old. Look what's happened.
My God.
You don't look a day over 90, so don't worry about it.
I don't feel like a day over 90.
So in answer to JPEG's question, do I believe in supplementation? Yes, but only certain types of supplementation, not the stuff you get at Walmart or GNC.
Oh,
and I'm not bad-mouthing. I'm just saying the quality is not there. You can take vitamin E and C and all that, but you don't know the quality.
And that's just
Is it bioavailable?
There is no
There's no standard.
Governing board or standards or say that, anybody that's looking out. And I know that a lot of us don't want the government intervention, but some of that government intervention is why we're still alive.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about things like nuclear waste.
Oh,
and,
sure.
There is a certain amount that's required that, we've got to look out for each other.
Well, what people don't understand is on the nutritional scale, like when you're looking on the bottle with the vitamins and all that sort of stuff, those numbers are minimum daily
required
in order to prevent rickets. That's all. So if you're living off the minimum, no wonder your tank is almost empty. Mm-hmm. You've burned it out.
Eat lots of lime.
There you go. There you go. Turn that acid into alcohol.
Yep.
So after you do the 4 quadrants, we have a couple of minutes left in this piece here. It's all right. So after you do the 4 quadrants and you assess what's missing, do you literally sit down with your client with a shopping list, or how does it transition into actually the nutritional plan?
Yes. After we go over everything over the phone, then I type up kind of like directions of what they should do.
Okay.
Whether it's changing diet, reducing the amount of whatever it's indicating on there. And I give people pretty much step by step of what they need to do.
Okay.
They can do it if they want. They don't have to do it if they want. It's okay with me.
And you actually provide your consultation for no cost.
No charge.
And if they follow your plan?
Yes, usually within anywhere from 2 weeks to about 30 to 45 days. In cases of type 2 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, it's about 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks, and bit by bit, you'll start coming off that.
You can do 2 weeks standing on your head, man.
Yeah, sure I can.
Well, the idea is this. You continue doing what you're doing, but what happens is as your body starts assimilating better and nutrition starts to actually get into the cell and you're utilizing those minerals the way you're supposed to, you'll start finding out you need to reduce the amount of insulin. Mm-hmm. And you'll continue to reduce the amount of insulin. And when you do that, guess what? Blood pressure starts coming down. Kidney function starts working better. Okay.
Well, the good news is I don't take insulin. I'm on the other side. I just take metformin and whatnot to control it on that end.
Right.
So.
The other thing that blew me away, and I didn't know this either, son. I thought I knew everything.
So did I.
When I went to school in the 60s for all my medical training, Insulin was made from goat pancreas.
Oh.
Now it's synthetic, which explains why most people who are type 2 diabetic only get worse. They do not get better. That's why it's imperative you get a hold of it. Because what happens is, as the man-made insulin becomes more inefficient of controlling your insulin level, you have to take more. When you take more, it accelerates the kidney problem. And accelerating that over time will put you on a dialysis machine, and there you will die.
Okay, this segment is now sponsored by the American Kidney Association, and good news for America. All right, we're coming around the clubhouse turn here on Stars of VANR with Chef Sharynne Frazier. Join her first Wednesday of every month, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on Vegas All Night Radio. We're coming around the clubhouse turn. It'll be time for my questionnaire that we have prepared for all of our guests. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It is time. We have 6.5 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. I don't know about you.
Not anymore.
JPEG, I don't know about you, but I've learned an awful lot sitting here with Chef Sharynne.
I always do. I love the show. And I know that my time is coming soon.
Well, I just told her during the break that I'm going to go through the questionnaire and get her recommendation for me, and we're going to go through the process. It's time.
You know what's sad?
Slowly.
We already know what we should be doing.
Oh, absolutely. I've done so many programs
part.
in my life, and I've been successful on them all, but then you get lazy, you get complacent, you just, I'll stay on maintenance forever, not a problem. Next thing you know, a couple of pounds are back on, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
We do know what to do.
We know what to do. We don't. We
That's
want
true,
somebody else to tell us to do
Well,
it.
yeah, but
We want someone
sometimes...
to help us be accountable
Yes.
for our actions.
That's what it
That's
is.
a big difference.
And one thing I will say, folks, if you're going to be working with me, trust me, I will be in your butt. So there's not a lie you can tell me. I've heard them all. All right. So when you decide to step up to the plate, make sure you're going to hit a home run with me. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. All right. Question time. This is my very specialty questions. I don't know if we did these when you were on Vegas Unwrapped before you launched, so this may be new for you.
Whoa.
But these are questions that we've assimilated here to get to the bottom of who you really
Resistance
are.
is futile.
That's right. Resistance is futile. Question number one.
I'm going to be stripped naked, I can tell. Well,
Be back at 5 p.m. for that show. All right, here you go.
Stars on VANR After Dark.
Has a whole new meaning to Raw around here right now. Okay.
Yeah.
First question. Favorite all-time movie that you will stop everything for to make sure you watch?
not a movie person.
Favorite television show?
National Geographic.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I can dig it.
All right, very good. What kind of music do you like?
Smooth jazz.
Who's your favorite artist?
Norman Brown.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, she's quick on these. What was your favorite all-time car growing up?
Well, my first car was a Dodge Dart, stick shift on the column, baby.
Cool.
Oh,
And that ugly telephone green, stick shift.
Oh, boy.
It was cute.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So you don't watch movies, so I'll have to skip that question. If you weren't doing what you're doing today, and although you've obviously tried a whole lot of different professions.
There's not many left.
No, there's not many left. But what profession haven't you tried that you'd like to try?
I believe with my analytical mind, probably an attorney.
I could see that. Mm-hmm. What kind of attorney? Specializing in anything in particular, or defense attorney, or civil, or medical? Or
medical malpractice.
Medical malpractice. So you're still going to connect in there with the medical. I knew that was coming. Favorite curse word?
The PH word.
PH word. PH. Oh, okay. For the phonetically challenged.
He didn't get it.
I didn't at first. PH. What are we talking about? We were talking about acids before.
FAHQ.
FAHQ, right. Especially if you're from the East Coast. Ah! What's your least favorite?
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or
See you next Tuesday. Okay.
I can't stand that. You know what I mean? No, I don't. Explain it to me. What do you mean?
Or even one, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
No.
Tell me what you're saying.
What the hell are you saying? I don't get it.
Know what I'm saying, man? Know what I'm saying? No. Please tell me. Now, then I will know what you're saying.
That's it. Least favorite.
Am I right or wrong?
No, hey, say what you mean.
Okay, 3 minutes.
Or how about this one? I don't mean to tell you, but
You won't. You won't.
I don't
tell
mean
me.
to offend you, but so then if you don't mean to offend me, don't say anything.
There you go.
Yeah. Shut up.
All right, when you're standing at the Golden Gates, and whoever you believe in will be standing there to greet you when that day comes, when they open up the pearly gates for you to come in, hopefully come in, which I'm sure you will be, what is it that you want them to say to you on your way in?
What do I want them to say to me? Mm-hmm. I'm healthy.
There you go. There you go. And I wouldn't expect anything else. That's very good. All right, that's it. We took you out of the hot seat for those questions.
loved
Did you
it.
have any questions you want to throw in there? Usually good for one or two oddballs in there.
I think I've done my oddball questions.
Okay.
He's all
This is-
oddballed out.
This is not a time for oddball. I think this is a serious subject. And as much as I like to joke about it, I think that what you're doing is awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that your show is part of our station because
Thank you.
before we took over, I didn't get a chance to, there's some good stuff here. And now that I'm here every day, I get to hear a lot of it. So you've made me a better person.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I've enjoyed it. Anytime, like I said, they made the mistake of almost 2 years ago giving me a microphone, and I haven't shut up since then.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
But
But that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's a
it
good
is.
thing.
Especially if you have a radio show.
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you have good things that you want to share with people, for sure. We've enjoyed you being here on VANR. We hope you stay with us. You'll be with us for a long time to come because your show is the kind of show that we want to have on our network that makes us a great radio station. It's so logical. You say it as it is, and you say it with passion that it's important for us to maintain and continue that message. And we appreciate you, and we appreciate that you're with us at VANR. And let's do it forever. All right? So
Love it.
And then I
Thank
look
you.
forward to going through the exercises of this questionnaire.
Yeah, and then you can kind of feed back to
Exactly.
your audience of
Exactly.
exactly what it was all about.
I can
And
tell
I'll
you,
be your spy.
Yeah.
I can tell you the first thing that comes off his diet:
M&Ms.
peanut M&Ms off the diet.
Well, when I don't eat lunch, that's my rush when my sugar drops. What am I going to tell you?
There's 1,000,001 restaurants around here, big guy.
You're assuming I have money in my pocket for that. That's a big assumption.
I think we talked about this, people not wanting to take responsibility. I don't have any money, so therefore I
That's
have to do
right.
this.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
have
right.
enough time.
All right, just as a reminder to everybody, this Thursday, Vegas and Rap will be on repeat as we all celebrate Thanksgiving.
All of
and
our shows
All of our
will-
shows on Thursday and Friday. So our studio and office will be closed. Have a great week, everybody, and have a safe Thanksgiving from all of us here at Stars of VANR. Take care. We'll see you next week.
Gobble, gobble.